Chosen ones, as you open your heart to this moment, understand that the message I bring is meant to guide those on a sacred journey. If your spirit recognizes the call, then stay with me. We are about to explore the truths that will illuminate your path and help you step into your power. Today's message is about embracing solitude and understanding why you often find it difficult to connect with like-minded people. This isn't a coincidence. It's a sign of your calling. As a chosen one, your journey is unique, and not everyone can resonate with the depth of your purpose. The loneliness you feel is not a punishment. It's a preparation. God has set you apart for something greater, and this season of being comfortable alone is shaping you into someone who can carry that greatness. Chosen ones, you may feel alone, but that's not a coincidence. God has set you apart, and the solitude you experience is preparing you for something greater. Your journey is unique, and not everyone can understand it. Being comfortable alone means you've found peace in God's presence, and that's where He wants you. Embrace this season. It's shaping you into the leader you're called to be. Being unable to find like-minded individuals can be one of the most challenging aspects of the chosen one's journey. There comes a point where you begin to feel that the people around you simply don't understand the depth of your thoughts, your desires, or your spiritual walk. You may feel like an outsider, standing on the edge of groups that don't quite resonate with your spirit. But this feeling, while it may cause discomfort at times, is actually a sign of something much deeper at work. Your divine calling. God has set you apart. You've been chosen for a unique path, one that not everyone is meant to understand. This can sometimes make you feel isolated or disconnected, but it's important to recognize that your solitude is not a mistake. It's a purposeful part of your spiritual journey. The discomfort you feel from being unable to find like-minded people is a divine invitation to draw closer to God. Rather than seeking validation or companionship in the world around you, this is your moment to rest in the assurance that God is preparing you for something greater. When you think about it, many great spiritual leaders walked a path that required them to embrace solitude. From Moses to Elijah to Jesus himself, each of them had seasons of being set apart, seasons where they had to walk alone in order to fully grasp the magnitude of their calling. In these moments of solitude, they learned to trust God more deeply, to hear His voice clearly, and to align themselves fully with His will. This is no different for you, chosen one. The very fact that you're comfortable being alone now is a sign that you're growing spiritually. You're learning that your fulfillment doesn't come from the approval of others, but from the presence of God. This journey of finding comfort in solitude often leads to a deep transformation. You begin to realize that the world around you operates on a different frequency, one that's concerned with fleeting things like status, recognition, and material success. But as a chosen one, you've been called to something eternal, something that goes beyond the temporary concerns of this world. This is why you struggle to connect with those around you. You're no longer driven by the things that once held your attention. Instead, your spirit is being aligned with the eternal purpose God has for you. And this alignment with God's purpose doesn't just make you comfortable in solitude, it empowers you. You begin to understand that solitude isn't isolation, it's preparation. God is using this time to mold you into the person you need to be for the next phase of your journey. The people you once sought validation from are no longer a source of concern. Instead, your focus shifts toward deepening your relationship with God, understanding His will for your life, and preparing for the divine assignments ahead. One of the greatest challenges in this phase is learning to embrace your differences. Society often encourages us to fit in, to seek validation from others, and to be part of the crowd. But as a chosen one, you're not meant to blend in. God has set you apart for a reason. He's given you a unique perspective, a distinct voice, and a divine mission that only you can fulfill. And because of this, your path won't look like everyone else's. The struggles you face, the lessons you learn, and the growth you experience are all part of the journey that God has specifically designed for you. While the world may not understand your journey, God does. He sees the steps you're taking, the growth you're experiencing, and the transformation happening in your spirit. And He's with you every step of the way, guiding you through each season. The fact that you've grown comfortable being alone is a testament to your spiritual maturity. It shows that you've learned to rely on God rather than the approval or companionship of others. This is a critical step in your journey because it signifies that your foundation is strong, rooted in God and not in the shifting sands of societal expectations. But don't mistake this solitude for a lifetime of loneliness. Just because you're comfortable being alone doesn't mean you'll remain in isolation forever. In fact, as you continue to walk in your purpose, God will bring the right people into your life, those who align with your calling and can support you on your journey. These individuals may not always be the ones you expect, but they will be those who understand the depth of your mission and share in your spiritual vision. In this season, God is teaching you to find strength in Him alone, reminding you that your ultimate source of wisdom, strength, and comfort comes from Him, not from external validation. As you move further into this journey as a chosen one of the most profound truths you will discover is that solitude is not a setback, but a preparation. The feeling of being unable to find like-minded individuals or connect with others who understand your spiritual depth is not a punishment. It's not a sign that something is wrong with you or that you're on the wrong path. Instead, it is a divine signal, a reminder that God is drawing you closer to Him in this season of your life. Solitude, when embraced with the right perspective, becomes a sacred space where God does His most transformative work. It is in these moments of quiet, away from the distractions of others' opinions and societal expectations, that you begin to hear God's voice more clearly. This time is a gift, even though it may feel isolating or confusing at times. God is preparing you for something greater than the world around you can see. He is calling you to a deeper understanding of your purpose, one that cannot be influenced by the noise of external voices. The reason this period of solitude feels uncomfortable is because we are often conditioned to seek validation and companionship from those around us. We are social beings, and it's natural to want to feel understood and accepted. However, the path of the chosen one is different. God has set you apart for a unique purpose, and that purpose requires seasons where you must walk alone, just you and God. These moments are meant to strengthen your faith, refine your character, and prepare you for the mission ahead. Consider the ways in which God has already used your solitude to shape you. The quiet moments have likely brought you closer to Him, deepening your relationship with the Creator in ways that wouldn't have been possible if you were constantly surrounded by people. In these times, you learn to depend on God fully, trusting in His plan, even when you cannot see the full picture. This trust is the foundation of your spiritual journey, and it's what will carry you through the challenges ahead. Moreover, this solitude is teaching you an important lesson about identity. Often, when we are surrounded by others, we begin to define ourselves by their expectations or by how we fit into the group. But in the quiet, when it's just you and God, you begin to see yourself through His eyes. You start to understand that your worth isn't determined by how well you fit in with others or by how many people agree with you. Your worth is found in God's love for you and in His divine purpose for your life. This is a crucial realization for every chosen one. It's not about seeking approval from the world or even from those close to you. It's about standing firm in the knowledge that God has called you, and that alone is enough. This understanding not only strengthens your faith, but also frees you from the need to conform to others' expectations. When you are comfortable being alone with God, you no longer need external validation to confirm your purpose. This season of solitude is also a time of preparation. God is using this time to equip you with the spiritual tools and insights you will need for the next phase of your journey. Every moment you spend in prayer, every revelation you receive from God, and every lesson learned in these quiet times is building you into the person God needs you to be for the mission ahead. The solitude you are experiencing now is not wasted. It's a sacred time of growth and transformation. As you reflect on this season, think about the ways in which God has already been preparing you. Perhaps He has revealed new insights about your purpose or opened your eyes to areas of your life that need healing or growth. Maybe He has been working on your heart, teaching you patience, resilience, or trust. All of this is preparation for the greatness that lies ahead. But there's another dimension to this season that is often overlooked: the way God uses this time to deepen your discernment. When you're alone with God, away from the noise of the world, your ability to hear His voice becomes sharper. You begin to discern His will more clearly, and you gain a greater understanding of His plans for your life. This is one of the most powerful gifts that come from embracing solitude. The more time you spend in God's presence, the more attuned you become to His guidance. This is especially crucial as you move forward on your journey. The solitude you're experiencing is His way of preparing you, ensuring you're equipped with wisdom to step into your divine calling when the time comes. As we move forward in this journey of spiritual growth, it's important to recognize that the path of a chosen one is not straightforward. There are moments of deep reflection, moments of challenge, and moments of uncertainty that we all must face. It's easy to feel isolated or even lost in the midst of these trials, especially when the path ahead is unclear. You may be questioning why you're going through certain struggles or why it feels like God is silent. These questions are natural, and they're part of what makes this journey so complex and transformative. But the key to moving forward is understanding that these periods of uncertainty are not signs of failure. Rather, they are opportunities for deep spiritual refinement. Consider this: God is preparing you in ways that may not always be visible to you right now. While you're navigating the challenges of solitude, doubt, or even fear, God is working behind the scenes, shaping your character, strengthening your faith, and preparing you for something far greater than you can imagine. It's easy to focus on the external difficulties, but what's happening internally, within your spirit, is where the true transformation is taking place. This is not a time to retreat or give up. It's a time to press forward, to trust that God's plan for your life is unfolding, even when you can't see all the pieces yet. Perhaps you've been asking questions like, why can't I find others who understand my path? Or why do I feel so different from those around me? These are questions that many chosen ones ask, especially as they walk through seasons where they feel misunderstood or alone. But this is where God is calling you to something deeper. Your journey is not meant to be understood by everyone, because it's a journey that is uniquely yours, divinely orchestrated for your growth and purpose. The very fact that you feel different, that you are seeking something more, is evidence that God is calling you to a higher level of spiritual awareness and responsibility. This leads us to an important aspect of anticipation. It's not just about waiting for what's next, it's about preparing for it. God doesn't call you to something without equipping you for it, and this time of waiting, of solitude, is part of that preparation. The anticipation you feel is not a frustration to be avoided. It's a sign that something profound is on the horizon, but it's also a time for you to do the inner work that's required to step into the greatness that God has for you. Anticipation builds tension, and that tension can either lead to anxiety or to excitement, depending on how you choose to respond. As a chosen one, you are being called to shift your perspective from one of anxiety to one of excitement. You are not waiting in vain, you are waiting with purpose. Every challenge, every moment of uncertainty is a stepping stone toward the fulfillment of God's promise in your life. But here's the thing, you have to embrace the waiting. You have to trust that the process is as important as the destination. It's in the process that God is refining you, teaching you, and preparing you for the weight of the calling He has placed on your life. So, how do you prepare for what's next when you don't know exactly what's coming? This is where faith comes in. Faith is not just about believing in what you can see, it's about trusting in what you cannot see. It's about knowing that God's timing is perfect, even when it doesn't align with your own expectations. It's about understanding that the solitude you feel right now is temporary, and that in due time, God will bring the right people, the right opportunities, and the right circumstances into your life. One of the most challenging aspects of anticipation is the feeling of being stuck in the in-between. You know that God has something greater for you, but you're not quite there yet. This can lead to frustration, doubt, and even fear. But remember, chosen one, that the in-between is where the most growth happens. It's in the waiting that God is developing the character traits you will need to sustain the blessings He has in store for you. He's teaching you patience, trust, and resilience, all qualities that are essential for stepping into your divine purpose. Even the strongest believers face doubt, but a chosen one trusts God's wisdom even in uncertainty. The anticipation you feel is a call to deepen your trust and prepare for what God is about to do in your life. This is not passive waiting, it's active preparation. God is orchestrating something extraordinary for you, and your breakthrough is near. Stay attuned to His guidance, for you're on the brink of revelation. Stay strong, chosen one. Your moment is closer than you think. As we've journeyed through this message, you've been encouraged to embrace the discomfort of your current season, the solitude, the waiting, and the anticipation that weighs on your heart. These moments, though challenging, are shaping you into who God has called you to be. The questions you carry, the doubts you face, and the uncertainty about what's next are not signs of failure or a lack of faith. Instead, they are opportunities for growth, for deepening your trust in God's perfect plan, and for leaning into the process of becoming who you are destined to be. This anticipation you feel, the tension between where you are and where you believe you are meant to be, is a sacred space. It's a space that God uses to refine your character, strengthen your resolve, and deepen your relationship with Him. Remember, you are not waiting alone. God is with you in every moment, guiding your steps, even when the path seems unclear. You have been set apart for a reason, chosen one, and the anticipation is a clear sign that something greater is on the horizon. So, where do you go from here? How do you navigate the tension and move forward with confidence when you're still waiting for the breakthrough? This is where a fresh revelation comes into play, offering deeper clarity and understanding about what God is doing in your life right now. Let's reflect on the heart of the matter. You've been feeling alone, unable to find those who are like-minded, who truly understand the depth of your calling. But have you ever considered that this very feeling of being set apart is a part of God's divine design for you? Your sense of isolation is not a punishment, it's a preparation. You are in a season where God is stripping away distractions, separating you from the noise, and placing you in a position where you can hear His voice more clearly. The truth is, not everyone is meant to walk this path with you. The journey of a chosen one is not for the faint of heart. It's a journey that requires immense strength, unwavering faith, and a deep connection to God's will. As much as we crave companionship, validation, and understanding from others, there comes a time when God calls you to stand alone, not as a sign of loneliness, but as a sign of divine purpose. This is where you find your true strength. Not in the approval or acceptance of others, but in the quiet, intimate moments with God where He reveals His plans for you. Think about the biblical figures who were called to walk alone for a time: Moses, Elijah, David. Each of them experienced seasons of solitude, times when they were misunderstood, isolated, or even rejected. But it was in those moments that they were drawn closer to God, that their character was refined and their purpose solidified. You are no different. This is your season of preparation, chosen one. God is using this time to mold you, to shape you, and to prepare you for the greatness that lies ahead. But here's the revelation. The solitude you feel is not about being alone. It's about being set apart. There is a significant difference. Being alone implies a lack of connection, a void that needs to be filled. But being set apart means that God has handpicked you for something specific, something greater. He has pulled you out of the crowd because the path you are on requires a unique level of focus, commitment, and trust. And while it may feel isolating at times, this is the very thing that will propel you into your destiny. In this season, God is teaching you to be comfortable with yourself, to be content in His presence alone. He's showing you that while relationships and community are important, your ultimate source of strength, wisdom, and comfort must come from Him. This is the foundation upon which everything else in your life will be built. The more you learn to stand firm in this truth, the more you will see how God begins to open doors for you to connect with those who are truly aligned with your purpose. Here's where the breakthrough happens. Once you've learned to lean on God completely, once you've embraced the solitude and allowed it to strengthen your relationship with Him, you will find that the need for external validation fades away. You no longer need others to understand you, to approve of your journey, or to walk with you every step of the way. You are confident in who God has called you to be, and that confidence allows you to move forward with boldness and clarity. But this doesn't mean you'll walk alone forever. God has a way of bringing the right people into your life at the right time, those who will encourage you, challenge you, and walk alongside you on this journey. These relationships will not be based on superficial connections or shared interests. They will be divinely orchestrated partnerships that are rooted in purpose and destiny. But before those relationships can come, you must first be comfortable in your own skin, confident in your calling, and fully reliant on God's guidance. So, what does this mean for you right now? It means that the anticipation you feel, the tension of waiting for something to happen, is a sign that you are exactly where you need to be. God is preparing you, strengthening you, and equipping you for the next phase of your journey. The key is to trust the process, even when it doesn't make sense. Trust that God is working behind the scenes, orchestrating every detail of your life in ways you can't yet see. As you move forward, continue to seek God's presence in every moment. The solitude you are experiencing is a gift. It's a space where you can hear His voice more clearly, where you can grow deeper in your relationship with Him, and where you can be shaped into the person He has called you to be. Don't rush through this season. Embrace it, knowing that it is a vital part of your preparation. And as you walk this path, remember that you are not walking it alone. God is with you every step of the way, guiding you, protecting you, and preparing you for something far greater than you could ever imagine. The breakthrough is coming, chosen one. The moment you've been waiting for is just around the corner. But for now, rest in the knowledge that God is at work, and He is using this season of solitude to prepare you for the greatness that lies ahead. The revelation is this: you've been set apart for a divine purpose. The solitude, waiting, and anticipation are all part of God's plan to refine and prepare you for what lies ahead. Trust in His timing, lean into His presence, and know that the best is yet to come. Stay faithful, stay focused, and stay expectant, because your breakthrough is closer than you think. God is preparing something extraordinary for you, chosen one. Embrace this season and continue moving forward in faith, trusting that your breakthrough is near. As you reflect on the message shared so far, it's important to take a moment to understand the path forward in your journey as a chosen one. The world has been designed to challenge, confuse, and even isolate those who walk in alignment with God's purpose. But it is through these challenges that you begin to realize something vital. You've been set apart, anointed for a greater purpose, and equipped to navigate this path with strength and resilience. While the journey is often marked by solitude, it's not a sign of abandonment. It's a phase of preparation. It's the space where God molds you, refines your spirit, and equips you for what's to come. Being set apart can feel isolating at times. You may find yourself questioning why you don't fit in with others, or why the path seems lonelier than you expected. But this is not a sign of failure. It's evidence of your calling. God often pulls us aside to work on us in private before He showcases us in public. He is preparing you in ways you might not yet understand, but this season of solitude is crucial for your growth. It's a time where your faith is tested, where you learn to lean not on your understanding, but on God's wisdom and guidance. As you look forward, it's important to recognize that the solitude you experience now is not meant to isolate you forever. God is teaching you something profound through this process. He's revealing that while community is essential, your strength, wisdom, and purpose ultimately come from Him. When you are comfortable being alone with God, you gain a new level of strength that can't be shaken by external circumstances or the opinions of others. You are being prepared to be a leader, someone who can walk in alignment with their divine calling, regardless of whether others understand your journey. It's also key to acknowledge that God never wastes a season. Every moment of waiting, every challenge, and every trial has a purpose. This time of solitude is shaping you into someone who can handle the responsibilities and blessings that come with your calling. God is equipping you with the discernment, patience, and wisdom you will need in the next phase of your journey. The waiting may feel long, but it's important to trust that God is working behind the scenes, aligning things in your favor. He is opening doors that no man can shut and preparing opportunities that are beyond anything you could imagine. As you step forward on this path, remember that you are not walking alone. Even in your moments of solitude, God's presence is with you, guiding your every step. He is closer than you think, and He is speaking to you in ways that require you to quiet your mind and listen. This time of stillness is an invitation to draw nearer to Him, to seek His voice, and to strengthen your relationship with Him. The more time you spend in His presence, the clearer His guidance will become. You may still feel the weight of questions or uncertainties about the future, but those questions are not meant to derail you. They are meant to prompt you to lean into God's presence even more deeply. The doubts you carry are an opportunity to grow in your faith, to trust that even when you don't have all the answers, God is leading you exactly where you need to be. Faith is not about having all the pieces of the puzzle. It's about trusting that God sees the full picture and is leading you toward the best possible outcome. One of the most powerful things you can do during this season is to keep your heart open to God's voice. Don't allow the noise of the world to drown out His whisper. This is a time for deep reflection, for seeking God in prayer and meditation, and for allowing Him to shape your heart for what's to come. The world will try to distract you, to pull you away from your purpose, but as a chosen one, you must remain focused on the divine path set before you. The time you spend in God's presence now is preparing you for the moment when He will call you to step into your next season. The path forward also requires you to stay expectant. Anticipation is not passive waiting. It's an active preparation for what God is about to do. It's about staying ready, keeping your faith strong, and being open to the ways God may choose to move in your life. The anticipation you feel is a sign that something is shifting, that God is aligning things in the spiritual realm before they manifest in the physical. Stay faithful during this time, knowing that God's promises are sure and His timing is perfect. As you continue moving forward, it's essential to release any fears or doubts that may still be holding you back. Fear has no place in the life of a chosen one. You have been given authority through Christ to walk in power, love, and a sound mind. The enemy may try to plant seeds of doubt, but you must reject them and stand firm in the knowledge that God has equipped you for this journey. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are a conqueror through Christ who strengthens you. The path forward is one of continual growth. Every step, even the small ones, leads you closer to the fulfillment of your divine purpose. Don't rush the process. Growth takes time, and God's timing is perfect. Give yourself grace to move at His pace, trusting that every experience is preparing you for the next phase of your calling. God has already written your story with precision. You are not walking aimlessly. You are being led by the Creator of the universe. Stay focused, remain expectant, and continue walking in faith. The best is yet to come, chosen one. Trust in God's plan. As we bring this message to a close, remember the profound truth that has been revealed. You are set apart for a reason. The journey you're on is not meant to be easy, but it is designed to mold you into the person God has called you to be. The solitude, the waiting, and the uncertainties are not in vain. They are preparing you for something far greater than you could ever imagine. Trust that every trial you face is sharpening you, every lesson you learn is equipping you, and every moment of waiting is building your strength. God's plan for your life is unfolding, even when it feels slow or unclear. You are not walking this path alone. You are part of a family, a community of chosen ones who are walking similar paths and seeking God's purpose just like you. Together, we can support and uplift each other as we continue to grow and step into the fullness of our calling. If this message resonated with you, don't let it end here. Subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications, and become a part of the Kingdom Calls family. Share this message with others who need to hear it, and engage with the community in the comments below. Let's continue to walk this path together, growing in faith and purpose, and trusting that the best is yet to come. Chosen one, your journey is just beginning. The greatness God has placed within you is about to unfold, and the path ahead is filled with purpose. Stay encouraged, knowing that each step is guiding you closer to your divine calling. Stay connected with the Kingdom Calls family, and let's walk this sacred path together. If this message resonated with you, subscribe and share it with others who need this truth. Together, we can grow and embrace the journey ahead. If this message touched your heart and you'd like to support the Chosen Ones community, consider donating to our Patreon. Your contribution helps us continue to create spiritually enriching content for you and others on the sacred path. By supporting us, you become part of something greater, helping to spread God's message of love, faith, and divine purpose. Every donation makes a difference and helps us continue this journey together. Thank you for being a part of this community and for supporting our mission to uplift and inspire others. Your contribution allows us to spread God's message and impact more lives on this sacred path.